Hi guys, Joe here. Today we're going to be going over some Tengu plant combos. Tengu is one of the pretty popular Ultimate Time Wizard formats. Not as popular as Edison, probably about as popular as Goat, but it's one of the tournaments that they have been using for the 3v3 Time Wizard events. And Tengu plant is one of the best decks, if not the best deck, in the format. And I thought I'd go over just some of the really basic few card combos for the deck. If you're a current player interested in getting into this format, these combos can be super helpful because sometimes you just don't really know like what's the best thing you can do with all these really good cards in your hand. So to start off, pretty basic combo, just Lone Fire plus Monster Reborn. If you play Call the Haunted, that works in this situation too. But you're just going to start off by summoning Lone Fire. Lone Fire effect, tribute itself. Summon Dandy from your deck. Then you can use Reborn. Reborn, summon back the Lone Fire. Then use Lone Fire's effect. And instead of tributing itself, you're going to tribute the Dandy here, because Lone Fire can tribute any plant monster, and Dandy is a plant. And that's going to summon Glow Bulb from our deck. You can also summon Spore, but it won't allow you to do this specific combo. So if you have other resources or other monsters you can synchro with, obviously there might be a situation where you might want Spore instead, but for this specific combo, Glow Bulb is better. Then we're going to use Dandy's effect. Since it was sent to grave, we can summon 2 tokens that are level 1. Then we're going to synchro the Lone Fire, the Glow Bulb, and a token to a level 5. We're going to make Hyper Librarian. And then we're going to use Glow Bulb's effect, mill a card, and summon out itself. Then we have a level 1 token and a level 1 Glow Bulb. Go these two into Formula. And now we're going to be able to draw a card because Librarian says something is synchro summoned, you can draw a card. And then when this card is synchro summoned, this being Formula, you can also draw a card. So we're going to draw 2 cards here. And this is essentially what you will be getting off of that, as well as Formula's second effect. During your opponent's main phase, you can synchro summon using this card you control and something else. So it allows us to make a level 7. So we can make something like Ancient Fairy or something like Black Rose Dragon to blow up the board, plus getting the 2 draws. So pretty solid first combo. For the second one, another standard combo is just 1-for-1 and Dandelion. This is like the stereotypical best combo in the deck. In my opinion, it's not the best, but it's still a pretty cool combo. So we're going to go 1-for-1, discard the Dandelion, summon Spore from our deck instead of summoning Glow Bulb. Then we're going to use Dandy's effect to summon 2 tokens. And then we have a level 1 and 2 more level 1s. We're going to go into Formula again. And Formula is going to let us draw a card. Obviously, this combo is dependent on what you draw. Assuming you don't draw a good normal summon like Tour Guide or Tengu, I'll show you what that would look like. So we're going to use Spore's effect. We're going to banish another plant, and whatever plant we banish, we increase Spore's level by the level of the monster banished. So Spore's originally at level 1, we banished Dandy, so it becomes level 4. And then we can synchro with the level 4 tuner and the level 1 token into Librarian, and then we have the Black Rose play set up just like the last combo, except we only got 1 of the draws because Librarian wasn't on the fields before the Formula. But the cool thing about this combo, like I said earlier, is you don't use your normal summon. So assuming we draw something like Tour Guide, it could change the combo, right, if we go back a little bit. Or you could make something like Catastor. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, moving back to our board that we had before we went into our level 5. If we draw something like Tour Guide, we can summon the Tour Guide. Tour Guide can summon another Tour Guide. Some people like to summon Sangan here. It's okay to summon Sangan here if you have something like Call the Haunted set. But for the most part, I like to keep the Sangan in my deck, so it makes another Tour Guide that I draw later even better, because you don't want to waste your Sangan search. And then we're going to overlay the 2 Tour Guides. We're going to make Leviair. Leviair lets us summon a level 4 or lower monster from our banished. So we can summon Dandy out. And then we have a couple options here. I'll put this in grave, but we can use the 4, the 3, and the 1 to make something like Stardust. And then we get 2 tokens, and then we can make an armory arm with the 2 tokens and the formula. Otherwise, we could make a 5 with the dandy and the formula. And the issue with that is we wouldn't have enough space to get both of the dandy tokens. Otherwise, what we can do is use the spore and the token to make librarian. And then we can use the dandy and the formula to make a taster. Now we'll get to draw a card and get the 2 tokens. So we get a full board of monsters plus additional draw. So a lot of cards off of just that combo. If you draw something like Tengu, you can normal the Tengu, and you can make a level 6 with the formula, or you can make a 9 with the spore, the Tengu, and the other token. So a lot of different things depending on what you draw. For the next combo, it's just going to be a combo going second, or going into a board, I guess. Assuming our opponent has at least one monster that we can crash our Sangan into. What we're going to do is start by normaling our tour guide, using tour guide's effect, and at this point we are going to summon Sangan, because we do want to get the Sangan search here. We're going to enter battle, attack into a monster, so we can crash. Obviously getting rid of something like their own tour guide is pretty strong, but preferably something that you can crash into. Take some damage, use Sangan's effect. Sangan's going to add dandy. We're going to go main phase 2, we're going to use the 1-for-1. To summon a glow bulb, which is a little bit different than the last combo. Then we're going to use dandy's effect to summon 2 tokens. Now, if you recognize something, this is pretty much the exact same board that we had in the first combo, where we had Lone Fire, the 2 dandy tokens, and the monster we summoned off of the Lone Fire, being glow bulb. So it's the exact same setup. Now we're going to do the same thing. Go right into librarian. Use glow bulb's effect. A card, and summon the glow bulb, and go into the formula again. So we're going to get the 2 draws. Now the only difference is, like, we have a 7 play, so we could just do nothing and force them to use their battle phase, or try to their main phase. Hopefully they like commit something more, and then we can black rose them. But what if we like want to out their monsters and still keep one of our own? We can synchro both. It's Arcanite Magician. Arcanite Magician needs us to use a non-tuner spellcaster monster, and Librarian is a spellcaster. So that's pretty cool. And then we can use its effect when it's synchro summoned. Place 2 counters on it, gains 1,000 attack for each spell counter. And then you can remove a spell counter, target a card in the field, and destroy it. So it's not once per turn to remove a counter and destroy something. We get our 2 tokens. And then we can use the effect twice to destroy both of our opponent's monsters. So we turned our 2 cards that we started with. We removed 2 of our opponent's cards. We drew 2 cards, and we have 1 card on the field. So in total, we ended up going +1, 2, 3, because here are our 2 cards that we started with. So it's a +3 combo. So pretty cool. On to the next combo, which is going to be Lone Fire plus Scapegoat. Now, something to note is you have to set the Scapegoat and use it on the end phase of your opponent's turn, because you can't just straight up activate it, because you cannot summon other monsters when you activate this card. So, pretty important thing to remember. Go to the end phase of our opponent's turn, activate the Scapegoat, summon 4 tokens. Then it's our turn, draw for turn. Doesn't really matter what you draw. You can go summon Lone Fire. Lone Fire tribute itself. You can't tribute these because these are not plants. Summon Spore from our deck. We're going to synchro both away. Into Formula. Formula effect, going to draw us a card. And then we can use Spore's effect in our grave. And Spore's going to be a level 5 once again, because or level 4, I'm sorry, level 4, since we banished the level 3 monster. Then we're going to make Catastor. You can also make Librarian here. It really depends. I like to save my Librarian depending on the matchup. And something like Formula is pretty easily forced out by any monster that can be normal summoned with over 1500 attack. So I usually like to make Catastor. Now, what we have here is 2 level 1 tokens, a level 2 monster, and a level 5 monster. So if we pass to our opponent, and they want to commit something to the board, we can use Formula's effect to either make Black Rose, like I said earlier, or we can use everything on the field to make a Trish, which can be really hard to deal with if they make a Trish on making it our opponent's turn. So a little bit different in terms of like kind of what you can do, and you're really able to freely use your interactions to make whatever card you need to make. For the last combo, we're going to be in a situation that I've kind of found myself in pretty often. Our opponent will make something like a Stardust that we can't out very easily, and we'll have something like a Spirit Reaper, which they can't out very easily. So we'll be in kind of a stalemate. Now, if we have Debris, Debris can summon back Dandy, and we can make something like Black Rose, but they just Stardust negate it. I suppose it like doesn't really accomplish what we need to do. So what we're going to do differently is we're going to go Debris, Debris summon Dandy. Then we're going to overlay the 2 monsters and make Leviathan, detach, and we're going to use Dandy's effect to summon 2 tokens. It's important to note that in this format, something like Dandy triggers when it detaches material because it's just sent to the graveyard, whereas something like Sangan or Tengu, that detaches material, they will not trigger because they're not sent from the field to the graveyard. So anything that's detached as an XYZ material that says sent from the field to the graveyard will not trigger. I know there's been a little bit of confusion, but they only ruled it for one event, and that is not the ruling that they've been using for the Tengu tournaments. So something like Tengu or Sangan will not trigger when detached. Anyways, we're going to detach the Dandy, summon the 2 tokens. We have the Leviathan on the field. They're going to synchro into a 6, making something like Orient Dragon. We can't make Brio because Brio is a Sea Serpent, and Debris can only be used for the synchro of a dragon monster, and Orient is a dragon. So we're going to use Orient's effect, banish the Stardust, and then we successfully outed pretty much the whole board and put a lot of damage on field. So if you enjoyed these combo tutorials, please let me know in the comments below. If you liked it, I will be more than happy to upload some more combos, as well as some combos that play around or through either Valor or Maxi, stuff like that. So yeah, please let me know if you enjoyed it, and I'll be doing hopefully more videos this week. I've been pretty busy, but I definitely have a few plans coming up. So thank you so much for watching, and peace.